Kia ora, nau mai hoki mai ngā mihi nui mō tēnei Mahuru Māori. Thank you for joining us again for another live stream. I hope you found the videos I posted last week useful. I saw a bunch of people have watched them, so that's awesome. Welcome back. So we are in Mahuru Māori, Māori Language Month, coming up to Māori Language Week as well. So there's lots and lots of different activities around Te Ao Māori, me te reo, that are available to us. And so I just wanted to start off with highlighting a few. Then we'll come and talk about our kaupapa. So, yes. Okay, so if you're in Whangarei, on Wednesday the 17th of September, we have the kōrero ko Tui Tui at the Whangarei Central Library, so 5 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. For our whānau in Whangarei area. In Otara, we have in Auckland, we have a few in Tamaki. Kia ora, Lisa, thanks for checking in. Clendon, there's the Paul Markete. And so it's a bit of a hakari and arts and crafts and stalls and that at the Clendon Library, Waimahia. And that is on the 17th of September as well, from 5 to 8 p.m. On the 23rd of September, in association with the Wānanga, and Community Waitakere is a Hononga Hapori, and so that's just connecting with whānau and educators across West Auckland, Tuesday the 23rd of September from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Other ones are, at the Māngere Arts Centre on the 24th of September from 10 to 2:30. There's going to be kapahaka, there's going to be kai, and all kinds of Te Ao Māori stuff happening at the Māngere Arts Centre, 24th of September, 10 to 2:30. And then coming up also for our whānau from Haina, from our Chinese whānau, we have the Auckland Moon Festival. And so that's the Friday the 26th to Sunday the 28th of September from 5 p.m. on the Friday to 10 p.m. and then Saturday, Sunday, 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. Saturday, and then 2 p.m. to 9 p.m. on Sunday. So some stuff for us to do this coming Mahuru Māori. So get out there, whānau. Lots and lots of opportunities for us to go and do some cool things. Some of them are during the day, but kei te pai, we might be able to take off from work. Say we're going for a hui with the community. It's all part of mahi, isn't it? So yeah, thanks very much. A couple of weeks ago, because there was no live stream last week, obviously I did ask for anyone that had any questions to send them through. We got some good questions, so we're going to have a look at 2, hopefully 3 questions. If you have any questions as well that come up, I will be keeping an eye on the chat. Thank you everyone, George, Paula, Cheryl, Anahera, Julia, Lisa, for all chickling in. I appreciate you coming in, spending your Wednesday evening or part of it with me. Okay, now one of the cool questions I got and kind of tickled the geek in me was this one from someone who said they're looking for a TV but don't know what all the jargon means. Asked if I could clarify nano and QLED and other things are, and what is RGB and how does it work, and do they need an 8K TV to be future-proof? So this is, yeah, as I said, this tickles the geek in me. So I've prepared something to answer that question. So we'll get onto that, eh? Okay, TVs. Now, I'm going to go through a lot of how TVs work, but trying to break it down to very simple things. If you know some of it, aroha mai, hopefully some of this you'll have learned, and hopefully you'll be able to understand, especially the marketing or the marketing stuff that is getting thrown at us, because TVs are a huge market for companies like LG and Panasonic and Sony and Samsung, and so they throw a lot of this marketing stuff at us, which doesn't mean a huge amount, but we'll try and cut through it. Okay, so basics of how any digital screen works, whether it be a TV, a computer, laptop, a tablet, a phone, is that they're all made up of pixels, these dots. Let's see if I can draw. Nope. Okay. So these are all pixels. Okay. And every screen has rows of pixels. Okay. And those rows are duplicated, so we have rows and columns, and that makes up the matrix of the display. Erase that. So that's what everything is. All of these screens are made up of pixels, and understanding the pixels kind of breaks down some of the jargon that gets used. Now, widescreen TVs, which are pretty much every TV that's sold now, or been sold for the last 10 years or so, have a ratio. So the widescreen ratio is 16:9. So that's for every 16 pixels across the top of the screen. So in a row, there are 9 pixels in the column. And so that's where that ratio comes in. So it doesn't matter if you've got a HD, a full HD, a Ultra HD, or an 8K. If it's a widescreen, it'll have that ratio of pixels. So let's learn where these names come from and how many pixels we're actually talking about. So that's resolution. Okay, so HD. HD are the cheapest TVs. You don't really see them anymore. You might see some TVs that are suspiciously cheap for sale. And if they say HD, you might be told, yeah, it's a high definition TV. Okay. It is. HD is technically high definition, and it needs to have 1280 pixels across the top by 720 pixels down the side. Okay. So if you divide 1280 by 16 and 720 by 9, you'll have the same number. Okay. Because it's a widescreen ratio, widescreen resolution. Now, computers, the cheap computers, most Chromebooks, any computer that's kind of around the $500 mark will also have an HD screen. But computers are a little bit different. Their screens are a little bit higher resolution. They are 1366 pixels by 768. So just a little bit more pixels than TVs. But basically HD is around that 1280 by 720. Okay, so the pixels dictate the definition of the TV. Full HD, which most TVs, most of the cheaper TVs now, HD TVs have pretty much gone. Those are 1920 pixels by 1080 pixels. And most decent laptops nowadays will have a full HD screen, and which is perfectly fine for computers. So if you've heard the term 1080p, that relates to the 1080 pixels down the side. Now, the P doesn't actually stand for pixels in the 1080p, but for this case, it does. We don't have to worry about it too much. So that's full HD. So if you see FHD or full HD, It's 1080 pixels down the side, 1920 across the top. 2K Quad HD. Now, we don't see these in TVs, but we do see them in computer monitors and sometimes computer laptops, more higher end gamer laptops usually. Okay. These will have 2,560 pixels across and 1440 pixels across down the side. So it's Quad HD, basically quad 4 times the HD resolution. So pretty simple. Now 4K or Ultra HD is 4 times the full high definition. So 2160 pixels down the side and 3840 pixels across the top. Now when it comes to TVs and the difference between like a full HD and a 4K, you're not doubling the resolution, you're timesing the resolution by 4. Now, with most TVs, they're designed for that. That's okay. But if you get a 4K laptop, if you're talked into getting a laptop that's 4K, that's your laptop having to push 4 times as many pixels on the screen as an HD one. So just be aware that your laptop's going to be working a lot harder in that case. And for the most part, Windows will actually change your resolution so that everything isn't tiny. So it's actually going to bump it up anyway. So for a laptop, most applications, a full HD 1080p laptop, I think, is perfect. Good price point, and then Quad HD for content creators and stuff like that. I would get myself a Quad HD laptop if I could, any day of the week. And I've got one of the screens that in fact, the one I'm casting now is Quad HD. The strange thing about 4K is where it gets the 4 from. Okay, it's the 4,000 pixels, while 720p and 1080p talk about the pixels down the side. 4K is the kind of nearly 4,000 pixels across the top. So, with relation to how those pixels work and what it means practically, as I said with a TV, if you've got a 4K TV as opposed to a 1080p TV, okay, if those TVs are exactly the same size, say you've got a 50-inch 4K or a 50-inch full HD, you will have more pixels on the 4K TV because it's got a higher resolution, and so those pixels are going to be smaller, okay? 4 times smaller. Paula, yes, I will put those posters on Facebook for everybody. Sorry, I just saw the partai. Okay. So you're going to have smaller pixels, and then the image is therefore going to be sharper. Now realize that if you're streaming TV, basically anything, unless you've got a Blu-ray player and are playing 4K content, that your TV is going to upscale any picture. So most of them are going to upscale from 1080p, sometimes 720p. So having a 4K TV, yep, it's nice. I would recommend it. It's the best price point at the moment for what you get and for future proofing. But most of your content that's coming in is either 720p or 1080p. Now, so that goes to the question about, do I need an 8K TV? So if 4K is 4 times a 1080p, 8K is actually 16 times a 1080p. And you are not going to get the value out of an 8K TV anytime soon. So save your money from an 8K TV. Right, I'm going to pivot here for a second and just jump to this, which is Photoshop. So this is how TVs work, okay? Basically, we have an array of different colored pixels in our TVs. And this is red, green, blue. This is where we get the term RGB. Okay. So with red, green, and blue, Okay, we can make all kinds of different colors. So if I grab my green and bring that up and grab my blue and bring it up, okay, suddenly we're creating a spectrum of colors. Actually, I'm going to copy the red. I'm going to grab all of these and move them across a bit so we can see the purples as well. Okay. So we get a big spectrum of colors. Okay. So depending on the brightness of each of those colors will depend on the color that is shown in that pixel. Okay. When all of the colors are on fully together, we get the whites and then grays. So if we overlay all those colors together, that's how we get the white. And that's how TVs work. That's how your phone screen works, tablet screen, laptop screen, all made up of RGB pixels. Okay, and this is where a lot of the jargon is coming in now in terms of TVs and things like quantum dot technology and stuff. So I want to show you how that works with a TV. Okay. So LED, all TVs are LED in a way. It just stands for light emitting diode. And here we've got a picture. We've got our RGB, red, green and blue pixels. And then the bulb is a light that sits behind them, okay, and it shines through them. So it requires a light to shine through them. That light is always working, okay? So that means even if these pixels are turned off, the red, green and blue, if they're turned off, there's still a little bit of light that will shine through, okay? So we don't get perfect blacks. If you see QLD or quantum dot, anything like that, it's a very similar technology, but they've just got a yellow or a yellow matrix of very small pixels underneath or between those two layers. So you've got a different layer. You've still got the light that's at the back, okay, that's shining through, and that yellow layer just helps the other pixels get more vibrant, gives them more vivid colors. Okay, this is a very, very simplified view. Okay, but you still have that light at the back. So once again, if all the pixels turn off, you're still going to get a little bit of light coming through. Now, the most expensive TVs that are available nowadays are OLED, which stands for Organic Light Emitting Diode. Okay, and these are very cool TVs. They have a picture unlike anything, but they are expensive. That's because every single diode in the TV is its own light source. Okay? So the red is its own light source. There's no backlight, basically, to light through these colored pixels. The downside of them is they don't get quite as bright as normal LED TVs. They do suffer from burn-in. That means if a picture's sat on the screen for too long, like I'm talking over months, you have the same picture popping on, they can burn in, like old plasma TVs. They had the same type of thing. But most TVs now that use the OLED technology have little technologies that will shift pixels around every now and again just to stop that from happening. But the cool thing is about it, when those pixels turn off, it's fully black because there's no light behind it to shine through. So you get much better blacks and much more vivid colors with an OLED TV. So OLED TVs are going to become the norm. For now, depending on your budget, an LED TV or QLED TV is going to be fine. But don't fall for the QLD is just as good as OLED. OLED is still better. QLD is better. You get a brighter picture and stuff. But you're not getting that much better than just a standard LED TV. Just be careful of anything that looks too good in terms of a price, because where these light bulbs, so these parts are in the screen, can dictate quality. Okay, so the very cheapest ones, okay, have the lights on the sides, and they shine through from the sides. Okay, so that's side lit. Most of them now have backlit, so the lights are actually behind. Okay, but they'll be in matrices, so they'll be in zones, is the official term. Okay, and then, as I said, an LED TV, every single pixel is its own light. So hopefully that's kind of given you an idea about these TVs and what they are. Now, the important thing to realize too is that most of the panels for TVs, the actual screen inside every TV, is made by Samsung or LG. They make most of the panels in the world. Okay, so Panasonic buy the panels from Samsung or LG. Sony do as well. They put the processing power in behind and tune the TV to their liking, okay, but the panels are still made by the same people in the same factory. Yeah, anything else about TVs? Yeah, do I need a smart TV? Every TV is smart nowadays. If you're an Android user, it can be useful to have a Android TV. So Panasonic, I think, and Sony come with Android TV built in. We use Android TV, but from a separate box at home. But most TVs will have most of the apps that you will want to use, like Sky Sport Go or Freeview. We don't even have a blimmin' aerial plugged into our TV anymore. Netflix, Disney, all of that kind of stuff you'll be able to load up and use on your TVs. So it doesn't matter too much about the software and what they talk about, or salespeople will talk about the processing power and stuff like that. They're all fairly good nowadays. Okay, so hopefully that was useful. Let's go. Right. Now, next part was my assignment is too big and I can't upload it to Iakoranga. Cool, let's have a look at that. Oh my God. Full screen. Oh. Okay. So we'll flick over to that again. Now, I'm in Iakoranga now. I've signed in. If you're not too sure how to sign in, I wonder if I can come back. So iakoranga.twoa.ac.nz. If you don't know how to sign in, or what have you been doing? Okay. But you basically sign in with your Wānanga ID. So that's your Wānanga student number at akonga.twoa.ac.nz and the password that you were given or have chosen if you've changed your password. Okay. So there is a limit to how much you can update. How do I choose my brand, Julia? That's a good question. We tend to go for Samsungs in our whare because we've got Samsung phones. And so it's easy for us, like we can connect them and do a few things like that. So there's some ease of use sometimes as a consideration. I do like Sony TVs. I like the way of their processing that they put behind them. But once again, most TVs are going to be fine. My mother just needed a new TV because one of their zones actually in their TV started dying, and they started getting this one area of their TV went dim. and they found I found for them and I think it was a Toshiba from the warehouse or something that was a really good price. It had Android TV on it, so they could load up their YouTube. They could cast to it, so it had Chromecast built in, which was a really, really handy thing as well, because they would cast rugby from their computer because they didn't have the full Sky box. They just had the Sky Digital stuff, so they would cast it from their TV or their computer to the TV. So it doesn't matter too much. The things that I do look for is, does it have Chromecast built in? Is it easy to cast to? And if you go into the TV store and you have a look at it, because you should, go and stand on the extreme edges of the screen. Okay, so stand in the middle, see what it looks like. That's where the salesperson will put you. But then move to the side, to the extreme side, and if it washes out, okay, the panel isn't as nice a quality as it could be. So that's I just thought of that. So look at it in the middle, then go and stand on the side and look at it. And if it washes out, then you know maybe not that TV, because the panel technology is a little bit different. It doesn't have good viewing angles. That means everyone in your sitting in your whare, in your lounge, may not get the same experience in terms of where they're sitting in relation to the TV. So good partai, good thing to remember. Okay, back to Iakoranga. I'm going to go into my my course, and I'm going to come to my Aromatawai. Okay. Kornai 2 is where I'm submitting, and I'll come down to where I submit assignment 2 here, and add a submission. So there's a maximum file size of 100 megabytes. And for the most case, that would be fine. But if you have a video either in a presentation, so this is my Aromatawai, it's got a video in it, and so it's 243 megabytes. Or I've got the video here just by itself, 238. Okay? And that's too big. It's not going to fit. I can try and compress that, but that takes a lot of time. So what you can do is use your Wānanga OneDrive to actually upload that assignment. So I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm still in my browser, and I'm going to come to office.com, because Microsoft want me to use Copilot. They're going to take me to that. So I'm in office.com. I haven't had to log in because I already logged in to get into my Tauira, so get into Iakoranga. So making sure I'm in the same web browser means I'm using the same account. I'm going to come to apps and then come to OneDrive. Okay, and this is going to bring up my OneDrive. I'm going to come to my files. Okay, and these are the folders that I've created. I can create new folders. So I might create a new folder, and I'll call that Kornai 2. Let's just give it a color. So, okay. However you want to organize this is up to you. But I'm just going to get Kornai 2. I'll put it in there, and then I'm going to grab my file, and I'm going to drag it and drop it, and it's going to start uploading. And there we go, uploaded here. It'll show in a sec. Okay, I'm just going to grab this and upload it as well. Okay, now if I hover over the file, there's an icon here called share, or I can tick it. Okay, and I can share or copy link. They do the same thing, or even clicking these three things: copy, link, share. Okay. So I just want to click on share, and then I get the share dialog that pops up. Okay. Now I'm going to change this from can edit to can view. I do not want to put a name in here though. I don't want to have dictate who can look at it. I want to come down to where it says copy link, to come to link settings. Okay. Okay. So I want to have anyone, so anyone with the link can view it. If I do it, people in Akonga, means only Tauira can do it. People with existing access, so that's me, I'm the only one with existing access. People I choose are specific people where I have to put in their account details. I want anyone because I'm only going to put this link into Iakoranga, and it needs, my kaiako needs to open it, but sometimes their manager might need to open it, say the kaiako's sick and they are going to do the marking for them. We also have moderators that ensure we have consistent marking across the wānanga. They might need to access it. So anyone can view. I'm not going to take off say can't download, because our moderators, once again, they will download it and store it securely. And I won't set an expiration date or set a password. So I'm just going to go apply there and then copy link. Okay, now that's copied the link to my clipboard. So if I come back to my submission, instead of adding a file, I can come down to online text and I can say Aron Matawai video. And spell Aron Matawai properly. And then paste or Control V that link. So this is the entire link. This is what it looks like. No one is going to guess what that is. So the only people that are going to have access to it are your kaiako. So Control V. Now, if you want to know how I did it so that you can see the full link, the shortcut is holding Control and Shift together and then pressing V. Okay. So if you've ever wanted to put something in to a email, something in the web browser basically, and it brings over the formatting, instead of doing a Control V or a right click paste, you can do Control Shift and V and it'll just bring over the text. Kia ora, Rosie. Good to see you. Thanks for all the chickens. Okay, so I'll just redo that again. Come to my files. Just going to refresh. Come in. I'll do it for this one now. I'm going to share or copy link. Okay. Come to the link settings. Anyone, change it from edit to can view. Apply. Copy the link. In my Aron Matawai submission, paste the link in there. I know it's a link because when I hover over it, we get the underline. Okay. And then I can save changes. And then here we go. We can see there's the link. So my kaiako can come along and they can click on, and it's going to open up that for them. Yeah. The video was actually how to play a game for my girl, but it was a first video I found that was over 100 megabytes. So that's that's why you saw that that picture. Okay. So that's all there is to it. That's all you have to do to to submit a large file. Now, do you have to use your Wānanga OneDrive? No, you don't. You can use your personal one if you've got your own OneDrive. If you've got Google Drive and want to use it, the only thing is it's obviously using up your storage allocation. So you may want to use your Wānanga OneDrive, which isn't taking away any of your personal online storage. Okay. Next question was about using AI images. How can I make and use AI images? Now, there are a number of tools that we can use for AI images. One of the ones that I'm starting to use, and they've got a new version out, is by Google. Now, be aware the images that you create with this tool, unless you are paying for a subscription to Google's AI generator, firstly, you have limited amount of pictures that you can create. So it'll allow you a certain number per day or week or month, okay? And then you'll start running out and you won't be able to create them. But they also will use your pictures to carry on training itself. So it uses what you put in to make it better. Basically, your prompt and the outcome, and whether you like it or not, will actually go into making the picture better. But here's some of the cool things about the Google tool. So I'm going to come to aistudio.google.com. Now, we used this before in the video that I shared last week to stream and share your screen to learn how to use some software. Okay. But we've got Generate Media or Chat, and both of them show this new tool called Nano Banana. Okay. There's a number of them. There's Imagen, there's Veo, which creates short clips, animated clips, using generated video. You can do things like put in a photo and it will animate it. But I'm going to come into Nano Banana. Okay. Okay. And this is where it becomes really cool. Make me a picture of a street corner with a boy eating an ice cream. Okay. And let's run that. Now, if you wanted to use this in a presentation, you might just say that the image was AI generated. Okay. If you were using it in Aromatawai, you'd have say it was generated by Google AI Studio using the prompt, make me a picture of a street corner with a boy eating an ice cream. Okay. Pretty good pictures at the moment. Now, with most other image generation tools, if we wanted to tweak this, it would start changing everything in the picture. Okay. But with this, it's much more contextual. Okay. Make the street corner more similar to the architecture of suburban New Zealand. And it spells suburban right. Architecture right. leave everything else the same. Okay. Now, I probably should have tested this before I did it, but the testing that I have done, so the buoy, the kind of sky is all the same. They've this foreground or this kind of midground with the thing is all the same. That's definitely the New Zealand Bungalows weatherboard style whare. Okay. Make it more light than middle of the day. Leave everything else the same. So all the other tools that I've used up till now would have changed everything else as well. It would have been a different buoy in the picture with a different pose and a different ice cream. So this is a really, really cool additional tool. Now, look at that. Okay. Change the buoy to be a Māori buoy and a Pākehā girl also ice cream. The Now, where would I use AI generated pictures? If I was doing a presentation and wanted to represent something that I couldn't find a picture for, I would be happy to use an AI picture to represent the thing that I was talking about. If I wanted to represent struggle or resistance, I might ask for a picture of a protest. Okay. Not quite a Māori buoy, but not too bad. Okay, and once again, everything else is exactly the same. So that is in Google AI Studio called Nano Banana. If you look on YouTube for Nano Banana, you're going to get a million different videos that are just brand new popping up about some of the things you can do. Actually, let's try something. Change the view to be from behind the boy and girl. Okay. So once again, AI in the past has had no contextual information about what's happening behind the camera, and this new tool does a lot better job than that. So if you wanted something that's a different angle, but you wanted everything in the image, this can do a really cool job of that. Fingers crossed it works. Okay. Okay, well, it just turned them around, but hey, that's not too bad. So that's three of the questions that I chose for tonight. Hopefully that's a little bit of useful information for you guys, and you get a little bit out of that. Hopefully you learned a little bit about TVs and the way they work and stuff. And it was a bit of fun getting that all prepared. If you like me doing this kind of thing once a month, say, and doing Q&A where you can ask in your questions, let me know, because I think it's a fun little way to be able to answer things that you want to learn, as opposed to me guessing and then just making some stuff up. which brings us to next week, because I still have no idea what I'm going to do, but I think with regards to Mahoru Māori, I'm going to be, because I'm just making this up on the spot, looking at Māori apps to help our language. What are some apps that you can use on your phone to help your reo Māori journey? So I hope you will join us next week, same time, same VAT channel. Thank you very much for spending your time tonight. I really look forward to doing this again next week. Ka kite anō. I'll look at making a specific video about that too, Cheryl. So we'll be able to have that in our kete to be able to share. So ka kite whānau, have a really, really good evening. In our maramataka, by the way, we're coming into a bit of a low time, low energy. Just means stay home, look after whānau, be mindful about what's happening around the place. Kia tūpato, just tread carefully. But from Sunday, we hit our tangoro, and next week we're going to be flying. It's going to be high energy, so just hang on for the ride. Okay, whānau, have an awesome one. I've spoken too long. Thank you everyone for chickening in and joining us tonight, and we will see you next week. Ka kite. Catch a video. It feels like a while since I've done this, but it's been 2 weeks.